How to read anyone instantly. Mind reading is a popular superpower in the likes of X-Men, Heroes, and even Twilight. But if you have ever been around a good psychologist, or even a really empathic person, it can feel like they are reading your mind, which of course is not humanly possible. We have all wondered, if I could have one superpower, what would it be? Well, while we can't teach you invisibility or flying, anyone can learn how to read people, including you. Today we'll be telling you 12 ways to read anyone instantly. This isn't magic, it's just science. You and everyone you meet unconsciously send signals, so if you learn how to interpret them, they will tell you a lot about the person. It's about sensing what people truly mean beyond words, even when what they say is contradictory. A simple smile can speak 1,000 words, so stick around till the end to start your journey in becoming the next Derren Brown. The basic skills don't actually take much time to learn, and they aren't just impressive party tricks or limited to therapy. Reading people can be an invaluable skill in all relationships, from personal to professional. That's because when you understand people, you can adapt what you say and how you say it to make sure they receive it in the best way possible. So here are 12 ways to read anyone instantly. Number 12. Keep an open mind. Everyone has their own biases and experiences that shape their view of the world. So the first step to keeping an open mind is to cast yourself aside and be objective. If you let your emotions and preconceptions color your impressions and opinions, you'll make incorrect judgments and misread people. Everyone is different. Not everyone is you. By doing this, you'll be in a better position to neutrally receive vital non-verbal clues from people without distorting it. In other words, understand what they are actually saying, not what you think they're saying. Number 11. Looks are not deceiving. In this case, noticing what people look like and what they are wearing is a helpful indication of who that person is, or at least who they are trying to be. Are they wearing a power suit, indicating they are motivated, driven, or successful? Or have they gone down the comfortable route wearing slouchy jeans and a baggy t-shirt? Appearances can even tell you about people's identity claims, as in what they value or hold dear. This can be things like religious or spiritual necklaces, family rings, t-shirts with slogans, and tattoos. Number 10. Read the posture. People's posture and the way they hold themselves says a lot about their mood, perception of themselves, or their situation. If they have straight backs, head held high, or are walking with purpose, it indicates they are feeling proud or generally confident. On the other hand, if someone is slouching, walking slowly or indecisively, and looking at the floor, this is a sign they are intimidated, anxious, or have low self-esteem. Number 9. Observe their bodily movements. People say more with their bodies and movements than they do with their words. If you see someone with their arms and legs crossed, it's usually accurate to infer that they are feeling defensive, angry, or vulnerable. When people hide their hands, it usually means they are hiding something, whereas hands out and palms facing up means they are being open with you. People that are feeling anxious, awkward, or under pressure sometimes try to soothe themselves by biting their lips or picking their nails. Another telling movement is when people point their limbs or lean towards people they like and away from people they don't. This is because when people lean away, they are usually hearing something they don't like or putting up a wall. So next time you are talking to someone or watching people interact, remember, leaning in with hands out and palms up is a positive sign they feel engaged and connected. If that person suddenly crosses their arms or leans away, you can be sure you said something to put their guard up. Number 8. Pay attention to expressions. Not many people can actually hold a poker face, even if they think they can. Often, their emotions are etched on their faces for the world to see. You can tell when a person is worrying or overthinking when you see them frowning or pursed lips, which can be a sign of fury, disdain, or resentment. A gritted jaw or grinding teeth can also signal tension. Quite the opposite, when people are truly laughing, you'll see it reach their eyes and show crow's feet, affectionately known as the smile lines of joy. There are different types of smiles which are quite subtle but communicate very different emotions. For example, the reward smile expresses positive feedback. Here, the lips and the eyebrows are pulled up. There is the affiliative smile, signifying attachment and fondness. Here, the lips are pressed together while simultaneously creating little dimples at the side of the mouth. And finally, the dominant smile showing status or control. This reads more like a sneer with lifted eyelids and a raised upper lip and wrinkled nose, which reduces the gap between the two. Number 7. Take advantage of small talk. A lot of people find small talk an unnecessary waste of time, but if you are trying to read people, it can actually help you familiarize yourself with people and establish their baseline for neutral situations. You can then use this baseline to identify behaviors that deviate from it, like positive or negative emotions. It will be easier to spot when something is wrong from a change in their tone, pace, or body language. Finding this benchmark for people's behavior will also help you be objective in interpreting their behavior. For example, if you think their neutral is very bubbly, you could easily misread their true neutral as sadness. Number 6. Get straight answers. It might seem aggressive or confrontational, but the easiest way to get a straight answer is to ask direct questions, so the person has nowhere to hide. If you ask ambiguous questions or beat around the bush, you give the other person more room to be evasive. Once you've asked the question, it's important to observe their mannerisms when they talk instead of interrupting them. You can look for action words to get an insight into how they think. For example, if your friend says, "I have decided to stay with my partner," then the action word here is decided. It shows that this conclusion was well thought out. Various choices were considered and it was not impulsive. Number 5. Listen to them. This seems straightforward, but when you're observing someone, you have to pay special attention to the words they choose to use. For example, if they say, "I just bought my second house," or "This is my third promotion," when they could have easily left the numbers out, it shows they feel a level of pride and want you to know about their previous achievements and maybe even show dominance. They could get great affirmation from this by feeling they are better than you, or use it as a way to seek praise and validation. The tone of people's voice is very telling too, and different frequencies of sound create different vibrations. So pay attention to how their voice affects you. Does it feel intimidating, harsh, irritable, or whiny? Or is it calming, reassuring, and soothing? Number 4. First impressions are important. The value of first impressions is fact, not fiction. And often our gut reactions to people end up being correct. This isn't because your gut holds magical intuition, but because your brain subconsciously and unconsciously processes information and cues from people at an amazingly fast rate. When you process information consciously, it is inevitably filtered through your biases to form a tainted and distorted impression. So when you listen to your instant gut about a person, you can tap into your automatic visceral reaction towards that person. This is a primal response rooted in evolution, which can tell you whether a person is trustworthy or not. Do they make you want to run a mile? Or open up and bare your soul? Number 3. Freudian slips. Freudian slips are things people say by mistake, flashes of critical insight that can easily get missed or lost as they continue talking. These slips can expose secret thoughts or feelings, like calling someone by someone else's name, saying the wrong word, or even mishearing a song lyric. For example, in the song Tether by Churches, they sing, "I'm feeling capable of seeing the end," which is sometimes misinterpreted as, "I feel incapable of seeing the end." This is very telling of the listener's state of mind. These aha moments are very insightful, but stay alert because they come and go in a flash, sometimes without the other person even realizing. Number 2. Context is king. If you try to focus on our tips one at a time, or fail to take into account the context of behaviors, you won't be very successful at reading people. You have to scan people's overall behavior in relation to the situation they are in. It is not enough just to equate an action to an emotion, like reading someone as nervous or anxious when they look at the floor. They might just be relaxing, thinking, or someone who avoids eye contact. Everyone is different with little quirks and patterns of behavior. So if you don't have that benchmark of their natural behavior, you could misread mannerisms as signals. In the same way, you have to look at the environment around you. If you are speaking to someone outside and they have their hands in their pockets or arms crossed, it is possible they just feel cold and aren't trying to hide anything. Number 1. Practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. That is the key to mastering any skill. To get better at reading people accurately, you need to get out there and study people. You can start simple by observing people that are alone, then progressively building up to pairs and bigger groups. You can even try to practice by watching talk shows or reality TV muted to train yourself to understand what they are feeling, using their body language instead of their words. Make a note and watch with the volume on to see if your interpretations were correct. And there you have it, 12 ways to read anyone instantly. Remember, the main thing is to focus on what they aren't saying and think about it in the context of the situation and individual. Reading people instantly is one of the most important skills you can have. It can help you become more empathic, be a better negotiator, and even stand up for yourself. It can also help you be more aware of what kind of message you could be putting out to people. Is it a message you want them to receive? You can even use these tips to adapt your behavior depending on how you want to be seen. If you have any more tips, leave a comment below. We'll be back soon with more great content, so don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.